Last week, we met the guy who will be doing all the auto-electric components of our crossover motorhome / overland vehicle. The surprise of the week was taking delivery of our driver's cab seats, which underwent an extreme makeover. I also lost a load of plywood on a busy highway, which nearly spoilt my day. Luckily, there was no one behind me. This week, work on our ablutions steps up a notch. Smokin John creates something really special for our gas bottle, and things start looking up on the engine front. We also give Bram and his team from East Coast Scratch and Dent a new challenge. A huge challenge.
Philip, I can fix anything.
Okay.
All this and so much more in episode 64 of A Dream Called Meraai. It is a new day, it is a new week. And we're going to have no challenges this week, nothing. But what we are going to do is we're going to gooi a little challenge in Bram's direction. So I've got a little something lined up for Bram in this episode. But we'll get to that later. But now let's hop inside and see what the oaks have been up to with our ablutions. Getting base trays for imported cassette toilets in SA is fairly challenging and very expensive. So Bram from East Coast Scratch and Dent did what any good South African would do. And the boer maak a plan. For you overseas guys, that means the farmer made a plan. Bram spent a few minutes sussing things out, then got to work. The plywood that took flying lessons last week gets measured and cut. Bram and Smokin John are busy making the shower tray and the base for the cassette toilet. We found a really good step-by-step template online. The person who posted these pics was in the same position as we are and is trying to save money by making things himself. These photos gave Bram and his team a step-by-step visual of how to make the toilet shower tray. So the wooden frame you see is going to be covered in fiberglass resin. It's going to be really strong. And the slippery part where you stand when you're showering, they will put a bit of some textured stuff in there so you don't see your ass when you're having a shower. The tray's construction needs to be perfect. The last thing we need is a leak in our ablutions. Bram and Smokin John pay a lot of attention to detail when creating the wooden base of the shower tray. The end result is a solid looking shell that is ready for the next phase of construction. Bram and Smokin John have spent a lot of time working on this shower tray and the base for the cassette toilet. And it's now at a stage where the construction's complete. And it's ready to have the fiberglass sort of put on it. So I'm very happy with this. It's really looking good. The wooden base was sanded and the hole for the shower outlet cut. Next, the resin was applied. Once the resin dries, it will be sanded to a smooth finish, ready for the fiberglassing process. We will catch up with our shower tray next week. East Coast Scratch and Dent specializes in rebuilding old VW Beetles. It is the mainstay of their rebuilding business. I thought it was time to place a wee bit more pressure onto Bram and his team. Soon after Marika and I met some 20-something years ago, we bought a house together. Now, in the basement of that house, there was a treasure trove of stuff. And in that treasure trove was this baby. This is a VW Beetle. So I'm going to go freak Bram out, because I'm going to tell him that we've got this Beetle that's turned into a bit of a rust bucket and we want it restored to its former glory. Then I'm going to show him this baby. Let's see what the boy does with that.
Steve, in that garage was a VW Beetle.
Yes.
Now we bought that Beetle here.
Is it there?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I want to see if you can fix this Beetle for us now.
Philip, I can fix anything.
Okay? Yeah, you put some money on that, Ned.
Yeah. Jeez. No problem.
I think it's a 1970 something model.
This is going to be one of my biggest jobs ever.
I think the headlights and the tail lights are still maybe okay. New project.
That's awesome.
We are hoping to have our little Beetle looking all sexy by the time we leave East Coast Scratch and Dent in Maraai. That, however, will require a working engine, which at this stage we do not have. But things are on the move in that department. There have been some developments on the engine, more specifically the gearbox front. We found a gearbox. Now, over there is our existing 4-speed gearbox, and over here down at my feet is the new gearbox, which is about double the size of that thing, so I hope it's going to fit. Getting the gearbox is a massive step forwards. However, the engine saga is really starting to get to me. We've got a gearbox. Great, now we're looking for the manifold. Now, I saw prices online of like 1.5 for a manifold, fine. Suddenly, 8 grand. People want 8 grand for a turbo manifold for this engine. I'm absolutely gobsmacked, you know. Yeah, that's it's depressing, eh? Yeah, very. What is also depressing is looking at the mess of wires that currently makes Maraai's cockpit look like an e-meal of metal pasta. Our sweet boy Damien, however, is hard at work sourcing the goodies we need to make a functioning dash.
What actually do we need?
Well, Philip, you need everything.
Everything.
Everything that a vehicle needs to run.
So every little button, switch, everything.
That's correct. Everything down to the last little screw to hold the button down. So yeah, it's a big shopping list full.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll get through it.
It's all fine and well knowing that we need to get everything, but we still need to know what sort of interior dash layout we want. I finally found a design for our dash, and I'm going to be using that steering wheel that you see. We're going to totally renovate that thing. What's it called? Renovate? Restore. We're going to restore it, not renovate it. You renovate houses. So we're going to restore that, and then this is the look that I am going for. It is a classic old bus layout. However, we will be using modern components to jazz the look up a bit. Our gas bottle bracket construction from scratch has kept Smokin John busy for a good while. The raw steel has undergone an amazing transformation, and with gentle coaxing by Smokin John, a butterfly has emerged from its cocoon. As they say in Afrikaans, dit stink van die kuns. I have said it often and I will keep saying it. This boy knows his stuff. I was thrilled to see that Smokin John has been tasked with teaching new blood some steelwork skills. So the youngster behind me, that is Jabulani, and he has got Smokin John as a teacher. So I see he's already taking off on like good footing because he's got all the right protection stuff, unlike his teacher who has been welding without goggles and things and getting archives in the past. Speaking of the past, in the past I weighed a hefty 124 kilograms. After a few months of eating delicious ostrich burgers and other fine foods, I am now down to 111.8 kgs, which is a loss of 11.6 kilos since the beginning of September 2021. Like Maraai, progress is slow, but steady. That's it for this week. Another busy little week. I had another message from one of our viewers sort of saying, yeah, no, all fine and well, you will, you know, things are chugging along, but you still ain't got an engine. Well, Brew, we got a gearbox, and that's big, And no, we're getting there. Next week, I think we will have a lot more to say about our engine, hopefully. Otherwise, things are moving along at a nice pace. I've got real ants in my pants, and we are getting to the expensive end of this build. So, yeah, but we will see you next time round. So look after yourselves and keep safe. Remember to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. You will find us under A Dream Called Meraai. Until next time, keep your dreams alive.